What's going on, you guys? This is Aaron from Departures Capital, and welcome to the video. In this video, we have the pleasure of interviewing the CEO of Cardiol Therapeutics, David Elsley, on the future of the company and how Cardiol Therapeutics is a leader in the production of pharmaceutical cannabidiol. The company currently develops innovative cannabidiol medicines for heart disease, formerly known as CBD. So guys, let's dive straight into this interview. It's a very exciting company. We've talked about it on the channel before. And I'm really excited to talk about the news with the company, especially their distribution agreement with Shoppers Drug Mart. So let's get straight into this video. Of course, if you do like these videos and updates, don't forget to smash the like button, along with if you are a new viewer to the channel, but you haven't had a chance to subscribe yet, but you appreciate constant daily updates on the markets and you like a steady flow of new and exciting companies, then don't forget to smash that subscribe button and the bell for notifications, and let's get straight into this video. What's going on, guys? This is Aaron from Departures Capital. We're here with David Elsley, CEO of Cardiol Therapeutics. It's been a while since we talked. How's it going, David?
It's going great, Aaron. Thanks for having me back today.
Yeah, for sure. So it's been a couple exciting months for you guys. How's everything going with the company?
Things are going great. We're certainly operating in a new world with this global pandemic, but fortunately for Cardiol, we're part of the pharmaceutical industry, which has always been an essential service and has always done well and prospered during times of healthcare crisis, because this industry is typically part of the solution during these times of healthcare crisis and tragedy. So we're pleased to be doing our part to contribute to a solution, and we're pleased that we're not adversely affected by what is happening all around us today.
Yeah, for sure. So, you're covered by Raymond James and AltaCorp, and we've heard that Cardiol was referred to as the GW Pharma of the heart. How do you feel about that comparison?
We believe that's a very appropriate comparison. Essentially, GW Pharma, have built a $5 billion shareholder value proposition on the NASDAQ exchange by developing cannabidiol, or CBD, for the treatment of rare forms of pediatric epilepsy. Cardiol is developing the exact same medicine with the same strength, with the same purity and the same stability for very important areas of heart disease, which are much larger markets than rare forms of epilepsy, but equally as important, because one of our areas, for example, acute myocarditis, is the leading cause of sudden cardiac death in young people. This disease takes the lives of people in their 20s, teenagers. It's a devastating form of heart failure. And then we're also developing innovations around CBD, entirely new ways to deliver this medicine directly to cardiac tissue, in an effort to overcome the leading cause of death and disability in the Western world today, which is heart failure.
Yeah, personally, I'm a big believer and user of CBD. I think it's fantastic. So can you walk us through Cardiol's clinical and commercial strategy? This is a very unusual aspect to your investment thesis.
Sure. Well, absolutely. What attracted us to this area was a discovery that was published in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology that basically demonstrated the ability of cannabidiol, or CBD, to reverse deadly forms of fibrosis in the heart tissue, which leads to heart failure. It leads to an inability of the heart to work properly and to pump oxygen-rich blood to the body. And this leads to tens of thousands of deaths each and every year. It's one of the fastest growing causes of mortality in the developed world today, because it's being driven by obesity, diabetes, and high blood pressure. And all of these factors are on the rise in the developed world. So we are developing two important areas of clinical medicine around CBD. One is as a cardioprotective agent in the context of myocarditis, which is a form of heart failure in young people and a very tragic disease. That disease is caused by a virus. When the virus goes to the heart, our immune system then tries to kill that virus and causes massive inflammatory response, which can lead to death in a significant number of patients each year. And now we have this COVID-19 phenomena, pandemic around the world, which is also a virus. It too is causing a form of heart failure that actually resembles myocarditis. And because of the cardioprotective properties of the medicine, of the extra strength form of cannabidiol or CBD that we have developed, we believe this medicine can be used both in the context of myocarditis, this tragic disease in young people, and also as a cardioprotective agent for the most vulnerable population affected by COVID, which is people with a prior history of heart disease, because these people can have a 20, 30, 40 times higher rate of death because they have this prior history of cardiovascular injury, and that sets up for this disease to be far more devastating.
Yeah, for sure. So building on that topic, we're in the midst of this whole thing. It was recently announced that Cardiol has filed for an international patent application covering the use of CBD in COVID-19 patients. So what can you tell us about this exciting new development?
Yeah, well, we see a tremendous opportunity here to participate in the solution to this global pandemic by protecting the most vulnerable patients, who are people with a prior history of cardiovascular disease or prior history of cardiac injury. And we filed a patent application in the United States with very broad protection around the use of cannabidiol to protect this vulnerable population. And we believe that is going to serve our shareholders very well in the future by protecting our unique discoveries and properties and the cardioprotective benefits of CBD in the context of heart failure in general, but also in the context of protecting this vulnerable patient population who are afflicted with COVID-19 and are at a much higher risk for death because of their prior history of cardiovascular disease. In fact, there was a study in JAMA, the Journal of the American Medical Association, just in March of this year, in the cardiology edition, which demonstrated that if you have a prior history of cardiovascular injury, your mortality is over 50%. So the number of people presenting in emergency rooms with this prior history of cardiovascular injury, 50% of them are not surviving.
Oh, wow.
Whereas if you don't have this prior history of cardiovascular disease, your survival rates can be upwards of 98, 99%.
Wow, that's quite surprising. So when can viewers expect the clinical programs targeted at COVID-19 to begin?
We are moving as expeditiously as possible. We're in discussions with regulators in Canada, United States, and Mexico with respect to the potential for a study to explore the cardioprotective benefits of our extra strength CBD formulation in COVID positive patients with a prior history of cardiovascular injury. And in parallel with that, we're initiating a phase 1 program next month in Canada, which will be the precursor to entering a phase 2 program in this deadly form of heart failure called acute myocarditis, which we expect to be an international study involving world-leading cardiovascular research centers from Canada, such as the Ottawa Heart Institute, and United States, including the Mayo Clinic and the Cleveland Clinic, world-renowned centers. And we even have participation from one of the largest myocarditis centers in the world in Germany, which is the Charité, which is domiciled in Berlin.
Fantastic. So I'd say on to the really exciting news now. So back in March, you guys signed a monumental deal with Shoppers Drug Mart. Can you tell us more about this exclusive agreement?
Sure. We spent well over a year developing a relationship with Shoppers Drug Mart, or medical cannabis by Shoppers, which is a national distributor of medicinal cannabinoids. Importantly, they are solely focused on the medical side of the cannabinoid industry. They're not focused at all on the recreational side. We have spent years developing the purest form of CBD. And when we say pure, we mean essentially no detectable levels of THC. This is particularly important in young people where THC can influence adversely brain development, and elderly people who have a number of other health complications and are on various medications. So THC can be more intoxicating in that population. So these two very fast growing segments of the Canadian market and the international market for people that should not be exposed to THC is of keen interest to us. We believe Shoppers Drug Mart is the dominant player in this area. They're a brand that is nationally recognized. They are distributing medicinal cannabinoids in every province of Canada, and we're thrilled to have partnered with them to introduce our state-of-the-art medicine imminently.
So when can viewers expect to see the product in Shoppers Drug Mart?
We have not as yet revealed the exact date. I can tell you that it is in the very near future, and we are working night and day to have our first formulations ready for shipment and ready for delivery to Canadian patients who can benefit from a THC-free formulation of CBD, including young folks and elderly population. But stay tuned. We will inform the public as soon as the product is available, and we expect it very soon.
Fantastic. So what upcoming milestones can investors expect or get excited about for Cardiol this year?
Well, I think the most important value proposition that we're contributing here is our innovations in heart medicine. So the major milestones that we expect will be initiating a phase 1 clinical program, which will lead us into a phase 2 program in a deadly form of heart failure that affects young people. We'll be advancing a new innovation, which is an entirely new formulation or a smart drug form of cannabidiol, which specifically targets the anti-inflammatory properties of this medicine at the heart. And we plan to move that into a broad area of heart failure medicine, which is a disease that affects 6 million people in North America. We are exploring an important program in cardioprotecting the most vulnerable patient population that contract COVID-19, which are those with a prior history of cardiovascular disease. And of course, as we've just discussed, we are in the final phases of preparing to launch commercially our extra strength formulation through the most respected, trusted distributor of medicines in the country, which is Shoppers Drug Mart.
Very exciting time. So what's the best way for investors to get in touch with you guys or learn more about the company?
I would say the best way is just to visit our website, which is cardiolrx.com. So it's just our corporate name, Cardiol, with RX for prescription on the end.com, cardiolrx.com. Feel free to contact our investor relations department. All of our press releases, the backgrounds on our team, our researchers, all the essential information on the company is available on our website, and we welcome everyone to visit it.
Awesome, David. Well, it's been a pleasure. I personally am a big supporter and believer in CBD, using it every day. So I love what you guys are doing, all the good you're doing, and I look forward to covering the story and continuing to update my viewers. So thank you for the interview.
No, thank you. Thanks for your attention and your interest.
So guys, that wraps up the video. Thanks so much for watching. Leave those comments below. Let me know what you think. And always remember, Departures Capital is for information, education, and entertainment purposes only. Don't buy or sell a stock because you heard it on here. Buy or sell a stock because you've done your research, you've done your thorough due diligence, and you're making your own personal investment decisions for yourself. This video is not financial advice. We'll see you guys in our next video.